Hi, it's Natalie Zangon. Again, I wanted to do another short video on this week's Parsha, Parashat Naso, and Shavuot being behind us. That we should never ever forget that true Torah living and a Torah life starts at home. It starts in our home with our families, with the husband and wife, and with the children. The more shalom bayit there is, the more love there is, the more affection there is. That is where the Shekhinah stays. What does that mean? Meaning, the more quarrel and fight and argument will what? Get the Shekhinah to leave our home. So we learn about Shavuot of the receiving of the Torah, and then right the following week we learn about the Parsha Naso of the affair and the Nazir, and like all of these things are not by chance. So the concept of the sota, when a husband thinks maybe his wife is having an affair, I think the biggest lesson it's teaching us is that the Torah and Shavuot and the giving of the Torah was never meant to be given just as the face value. The Torah is given to us to live by, meaning what? We're there to create a loving home in our home, and then also and the community and all of that, right? Like the Shlomo HaMelech that talks about Ani ladodi vadodi bli, I am to my beloved and my beloved is to me, whether it's between me and God or me and my spouse. If that loving dynamic is not in your home, it's not around your dining table, it's not between the husband and wife, if the respect is not there, the affection is not there, the attention is not there, guess what your children are seeing? They're not seeing the celebration of the receiving of the Sefer Torah. They're not seeing the ahava of Ahavat Israel in the home. They're not seeing the connection to Yiddishkeit. What they're going to remember is the resentment, the fight, and the bitterness between the parents. And guess what that's going to do for them when they grow up and think about a Jewish home? We need to stop and slow down and wake up, okay? The more we are focusing on the outside and the community and this and that, and we're forgetting what it's doing to our children, this is not the way of Derech Hashem. This is not the way of Derech Eretz. If nonstop, whether it's the learning of the man and the learning of the woman and this and that, and if it's not done with ahava, it's not done with compromise, it's not done with understanding, if it's not done with collaboration, there is a problem there. If the husbands are learning every night of the week and they're leaving the house the whole Shabbat and on, and the wives are left being tense and resentful and upset, and they have no koach for the children, guess what your children are picking up from Shabbat table, Shabbat day, and Sunday, right? Guess what impression that's leaving on them regarding a Jewish home, a kadosh home? If you don't have enough energy or enough koach to entertain your children, and you add on oreach and guests, and you're so busy entertaining the guests and you're pushing the kids aside, God forbid, when these kids grow up and become adults, guess what? How they're going to look at Yiddishkeit and Judaism. It is our responsibility as parents to slow down and remember that the words we use to each other as a husband and wife, the interaction, the looks, the energy, our children are picking that up. And the more ahava and respect and patience we have with each other as husband and wife and as children, then our kids are going to say, this is what I want to have in my home, because I remember growing up and that love and affection and the good energy in my home. So it doesn't matter how many thousands and thousands of hours you do learning, how many thousand hours the wife does doing chesed. If at the end of the day, the children do not feel that love and affection and compassion in the home, where did it go? Where did it go? So let's slow down and start bringing back the shalom bayit into our home. Let's slow down and try to bring in the goodness and kedusha in our home. Let's slow down and make an extra effort to spend time with our children and with our husband and wife, and that focused attention that the children will see, my husband is valuable enough for me to pay attention to. My wife is valuable enough for me to pay attention to. This is what Yiddishkeit is about. This is what it is to live in a home with Ahavat Israel. If there is only one God, that God comes and says the Shalom Bayit is the most important thing. The Shekhinah is in your home when there's shalom and peace and harmony. Let's make an extra effort to do that in our home. so that our children will continue to be on the path, because it's upon us, right? There's so much focus on the kids that are like, let's do kiruv, let's do kiruv. Let's not be so busy looking elsewhere doing kiruv that all of our own children are not going to be on the path because we had no time with them. And my husband always says kiruv krovim, to continue to work on those that are within it, not to make sure that they have the right path and the right vessel for them to continue to grow from, because it's upon us. That's how we make the difference. So let's not lose sight. And Shavuot just passed. So remember, Torah, Shalom Bayit, the Kedusha of the home. The little Beit HaMikdash is our home right now. And the Mizbeach is our table that we eat around. Make sure to spend an extra time paying attention to your children and your spouses, because that's what matters more than anything else. Have a wonderful Shabbat. This is Natalie Zangon. Thank you so much for watching.